So here's a little piece of it. It's quite light. It's only 1/4 inch. That's how thick it is. It's not like it serves any structural purpose. It's not like we're building cabinets with it or anything. And so 1/4 inch was still like strong enough for it to hold its shape with how we adhered it to the ceiling, but didn't add any extra weight by using a thicker plywood, because plywood is heavy. Well, we didn't want to look cheap or dumb, so we invested in some higher quality plywood. I knew that that's what I wanted, and it was several trips to various different stores and lumber yards to pick out a birch plywood that we really liked the look of. The grains were really pretty, and there was no like super dark streaks. So we chose each individual sheet that we used. I'm very happy with the result. It's very warm and like detailed, but also subtle. Like, it definitely draws your eyes up, but it's not overpowering. So prior to putting the ceiling up, we needed to clean our beams from all of the remaining spray foam speckles, and then every beam that we knew would be partially exposed with the negative detail, we just painted with a black paint of our choice, and that way, especially from down there, but even from up close, it gives that nice contrast that yes, there's definitely a gap here, but it was intentional and it looks really neat and nice. So the negative detailing, this is not typically a beginner-friendly project, so like maybe question your life choices before attempting this. It went well for us, but it was a lot of forethought and planning, and so I'm really happy with the result. All the lines are really clean, but it requires a level of skill that beginners may not be happy attempting themselves. But so how we achieved an even gap in between the panels was we needed some kind of spacer. We weren't sure what to use, and so we literally used pencils, these like construction pencils. And so if you look, they're the exact width of the gap between our panels. And so before we put up each panel, we just tape along where the gap needs to be, and then make sure that everything was really flush and tight. So to make all of our lines really clean, aside from using these spacers, we needed to make sure that things lined up really nicely in the center. And so how we did that was, if there was any discrepancy, even like a couple millimeters, we always wanted it snug in the middle, and we knew that we'd have little room along the wall because our shiplap would come up to the top, and then we're also going to have a trim piece. So all the lines that are visible are really clean. And then for all of the sheets that are above the loft and all of the little pieces, we just held up by hand. It takes a few people to hold it, position it, and then hold it still so that the other person can go around and start nailing it into place. So we would go up on our ladders, measure, cut any like holes out that we needed to for like light fixtures and things, and then have all the pencils for the spacers in place already, put the cut sheet onto the drywall lift, glue the edges. We found that was easier than gluing the beam. Then we just glue the edges of the plywood, and then lift it up, make sure it's held in place exactly how we want, and then I would go around and brad nail it. And then to cut it, we don't have a table saw, so we thought, you know what would make our lives really great? If we cut all of these plywood ceiling panels without a table saw. So we just used a skill saw for all of the cuts, and we had a few attachments for our skill saw that made sure our lines were cutting straight, because that's really important. And then for cutting out any weird angles, like light fixtures, smoke detectors, then we would use a jigsaw for that, and that worked out just fine. And then for like our skylight, I did the same plywood for all the sides and made sure that the grain matched the direction that the rest of the grain on the ceiling is going. And then I'll just use a corner trim piece to make that nice and neat. And that's it. So to finish it, all we're going to do is fill in all of the brad nail holes with some wood filler, and they should be pretty undetectable after that, especially out there in the living room when you're looking up at it from like 11 feet height. And then after that, we'll just seal it with some kind of poly or oil. I haven't decided what kind yet. And that'll be it. It's good to go. When we seal it, it won't really change the color of the woods, so we wanted it to just be really light and natural, and I'm really happy with the results so far. We bought 13 sheets of plywood, we did the math, and that was just enough for what we needed. And each sheet I think was about $45 because we did go with the A-grade birch. We did the whole ceiling in a weekend. Honestly, it was just me, Jess, and my mom helped us as well. My favorite part, I think, was seeing the first few panels up and realizing, like, this is gonna look exactly how I want it to, and how, like, clean and modern it looks, and how it's, like, it's subtle, but if you look at it, it's like, oh, that wood is so beautiful. And it's nice to look up at it and have something nice to look at while you're surrounded by like gross unfinished stuff. This is the first finished part of our house. It's like, this is gonna be good actually.